Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday, everyone. So excited to join you and share all of these messages that are coming up to be shared with you. Sometimes I never really know until like a few minutes before of what I'm really feeling like I should share with you. And so I love that I've kind of, while I'm tagging you, telling you my process, how instead of, I used to feel like I have to be so structured and so exact and so like spot on. I love that I've now just given myself permission to just step into what I'm feeling in the moment, because I mean, especially with what we found with 2020, it's just rolling with it and honoring whatever season you're in, whatever is going on, allowing the emotions, allowing the energy, just all of that, instead of feeling so linear and masculine and structured, and then that just squeezing the life out of what you've come up with that is creative and spontaneous and real, and also in alignment with what's really coming up for you. And if it's coming up for you, it's likely that it's also coming up with for others as well. So just allowing yourself, and again, if this is relevant to you too, of just you feel like you're planning everything out, you're so strategized and organized, and it's squeezing the fun out of it. I invite you to do the same thing. If you are feeling called to just open up and be real and share with what's coming up for you and in the moment, then by all means, because yeah, you see my process here. I have all the notes and ideas, and then I see finally all of your questions and everything are coming through. So just honoring that for yourself. So like I said, with this morning, just taking the time to get ready, enjoying my coffee, enjoying my morning rituals, and just really thinking about what is the message that I really want to share with the Well Biz Babes this morning in the community. Because obviously if it's coming up for me right now, it's likely that this is really going to connect with you more so than what I had scheduled or what I had planned. So here it is. The message that I have for you today is what I'm titling Education Expansion. Education Expansion. And I really want to talk about this because I know I've been through it, and I've seen myself go through this, and I also just recently went through this, and I've seen some clients do this, and I've seen some others in communities do this, where there's this want and this need to expand and grow and learn more, and also get coaching and support for whatever's coming up for you. But we have these old ways of thinking where it's just oh, you go to so many years of school, you go to college, you graduate, and then you just work forever, and then you just retire. And I knew earlier on, I mean, especially after in high school, everyone's oh, you have to go to college. I was the only one in my family, I think, that actually did go to college. But the first time I went, I actually dropped out. And then the second time I went, I was why the fuck did I do that? Now I'm still paying off all this debt. But anyways, education expansion, the message in this is that if you are being called to invest in learning, and especially with something that lights you up, go for it. Because we get to decide, and we don't have to abide by the rules of like, you only go to so many years of college, and then if you don't like, have the money necessarily for it, or it doesn't seem logical, or your business hasn't made money yet, then it doesn't make sense. Like, just silencing that and just really tapping into the education expansion that you want. So yeah, same thing. I went through it earlier this weekend, where I'm like, oh, I feel called. I really want to invest in this coaching program and work with this coach. And yeah, I've worked with several coaches and quite a few different programs at this point. But every single time, I always learn something new. I always come out of it like feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I did that. I got way more than I expected, and even if it made sense or not, it felt good to me. So I want to invite you that if like you're feeling called and you are in a spot of this season where you're just feeling like stuck in your life or your business, or you're feeling overwhelmed, or you're just feeling like this past trauma bubble up and you're just being triggered and triggered and triggered, and you're just like sick of being stuck, and you're sick of doubting yourself, and you're sick of holding yourself back, and you're just like spinning in all the ideas and just like not actually doing something, by all means, open up to the education expansion and whatever that means for you. And I have some, in a moment, I'll share a couple more stories on this to just explain the message and why I felt like this is relevant for you. But, within that process, it really is, you catch yourself being like, oh, I like that coach. I like what she's saying. I like her messages. I like the experience. I see that, she has some testimonials that she's sharing with her clients. And oh my gosh, that would be so nice if that testimonial was actually mine. These are things that I went through again this weekend, and I've gone through it several times with investing. But it's like you're feeling called, and then the next element in that is just deciding and like getting out of that back and forth of should I, could I, would I, and into just deciding. Like, you're saying yes to yourself, and you know that life will respond to that action, and it will say yes to you. And so that's already what's happened to me with even just the decision to invest in myself again, to give myself the gift of education expansion this weekend, and just stepping into the action and just feeling that up level, feeling that transformation already, with just having that energy and that power. When you like do that, it's like, oh my gosh, all this like clarity happens, and this process of just like clearing out this stuff, clearing out that stuff, either emotionally or physically. It just has a real, like, if you've been through this and you know what I'm saying, comment below. And if you don't yet, I just want to share of like how this like process kind of happens. So like you find the money, you invest, and your clients do the same thing too. So if you're struggling with sales, understand it's also not a linear process, but there's like a lot of back and forth of should I, other people have done this is what we're supposed to do, and helping guide them into this process of feeling called, making the decision, finding the money to invest, and then stepping into that new habit and that action, and honoring their worthiness and their deservedness and that new season of learning and education expansion. And so the story I wanted to remind you, or not remind you, 'cause you probably never heard it, but so for 8 years of my career, I was a licensed insurance agent, and I did field sales. So I would go to strangers' houses every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day. I would knock on their door and I would introduce myself and I would shake their hands and ask, they would invite me in, we would have coffee, we would have pie. P.S. I had way too much coffee and pie back then. But anyways, I worked with the senior market. So they were retiring, they were looking at insurance, long-term care, investments, all of these different things. And one of the lines, the things that they would tell me as I was going in and we were sitting at the kitchen table and they were making me the plate of, pie and pouring the coffee, is they would remind me every single time, well, I definitely want to look at, these options and what makes sense because I'm on a fixed income. Fixed income, fixed income, fixed income, fixed income, fixed income. If I didn't hear that line, I'd be like, are you an alien? So with this objection, fixed income, this also relates to any sales calls that you're having where they say I can't afford it. It still roots back to the same thing of fixed income. And what I want to, with this message is have you look at for yourself and for your ideal clients is, are you having an open mind or a closed mind? Because with the line of fixed income is obviously in lack, in limitation, and putting constraints on yourself, whereas an open mind is, let me see how I can afford that. Let me look at how I can find the money for this to invest in what's going to give me peace of mind and what's going to help me learn so I can open up to a new way of thinking, a new way of doing, a new way of being, and looking at that mindset. And thankfully, we aren't controlled on how much money we can make. Literally, as an employee or an entrepreneur, money can come into us in any way. Any way. You might get a check in the mail, you might get a direct deposit, you get new clients, family, friends, whatever. There are literally you find it on a street. I remember one time I found a $10 bill. It was right in front of me at the cash register. Literally, money can come into you in any way, shape, or form. So getting out of the fixed mindset and into the open mindset, and knowing that when you open up to receiving and you open up to finding a way and seeing how it's possible, you do the work too. And you can guide your clients to doing the same with working with you, because there's just a new way of thinking that, the majority of people haven't been taught. So obviously there's a fear around this, because it's oh, well, if I spend the money, am I going to make this back? Is this going to be the right decision? Is this going to be the right coach? Am I going to learn the things? Am I going to actually show up and do the work? So anyways, you'll still have those fears, but with every step that you take forward, it helps you work through that. And one of the other stories that I have is, as I said, this weekend, I invested again in another coach, another program, because I'm just feeling this new level open up. And I firmly believe in doing the work myself, and then that helps me guide my clients to do it for them. And then it's just a continuous domino effect that I just am obsessed with. So as I did that, and this weekend, I just went through things. I cleaned out cupboards and drawers and all of that. And I found this. So this is a note thing, and I'll explain what this means, but it's from the Lila and Goa, and this is the high level spiritual guru that I decided to invest in working with while I was in India, and this was back in 2017. And I'm like a small town girl that like grew up on a farm in the middle of nowhere, Iowa. So like to think I would have gone to India, it seems like 1 in a million chances. Like whoever thought that would happen? But I had the opportunity. We said yes. It was a friend, a couple that was like getting married, and we're like, oh, we really want to go. We don't know if this is possible, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, went to India, and I really, like before that decision and that feeling like, oh my gosh, like how can I do that? I remembered that like 6 months before that, I was so sick. Like I had been so sick for like a year. And I actually missed out on the opportunity to go to Morocco with my husband and his dad, because my father-in-law is from Morocco. So they went to go see family, got to explore all that. And I remember how I just regretted. I was like, oh my gosh, I just hate that I was so sick and I missed out on that amazing experience. So like when India came around, I was like, I am doing that. I'm gonna like go to my doctors. I'm gonna go do all of this healing. I'm gonna invest extra to like make sure my body can handle what was it, like a 19-hour nonstop flight, and then like another plane, another automobile, like all the whole process of even getting there. All of that because I was like, I'm not missing out. I'm not having FOMO over this like huge opportunity to go to India. So while I was there, again, it was like another decision of like, oh, I already spent all this money. It was all these things, but I did it. And when I did this, I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea what he was gonna tell me. And basically within this session, like we did a sound bath, and then this session was just opening up to like, what's coming up for you? And so I like asked him my question. I'm like, I just don't understand. Like, why do we humans have these bad things happen to us? And I was referring to like past trauma and how trauma was coming up for me, and emotions, and how it was actually coming up for me and holding myself back in my business, with having the fear of showing up on video, judgment, making decisions, feeling overwhelmed, feeling stuck, all of that spinning. And so back to what he said. So he drew this little chart and he said, well, it's basically just like school. You have, like kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and you have like math, science, and English. And until you actually, as a soulful, spiritual, expansive human, until you actually go through those lessons and you go through those experiences and you go through those events and you go through those levels, and until you finally get it, until you finally get what you get, and you pass those levels, you're gonna keep either staying stuck or you're gonna grow. Education and experiences are how you grow. And with part of like the getting it with the, comparing it to school, is also getting that we don't have to stay in that past trauma, in that past experience, in that past energy and emotion, but we have to shift it from being fixed and into open, of seeing that it didn't happen to us, it happened for us. And that's how we get it to click and to expand. So yes, if you're probably likely similar to me, where you're just like obsessed with, bettering yourself and learning and growing and getting it, so you're not just like stuck, then I just want you to just think about, for you, what are all of those past education expansions that you've already gifted yourself? And especially if it was something where you were scared of doing, and just think back about it. Like if it was like a holistic practitioner, if it was some sort of spiritual session, if it was like yoga classes, if it was like high dose nutrient IVs, if it was business coaching, if it was life coaching, if it was mindset coaching, like, or, you know, your nutrition certification or other certifications, just like really honoring yourself for expanding into the education and being someone who values growing and learning. And just tell yourself, like, thank you. That's amazing that you did that for yourself. And sitting with that, because there are definitely people that aren't, and they may or may not be really struggling right now, and they need you. They need you because you have gone through the fear of investing in learning and growing and like shining a light on things that you want to shift in your life. You've done that work, and now you can help others learn and grow too. So education expansion, that is the message for you today, so that you're not staying stuck, that you are learning and you're opening up to more, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's wellness or business, but tapping into the faith and transforming the fear. And so with that, I also want to let you know, I was planning to wait till tomorrow for this, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you know today so you don't have to wait. Cause sometimes, I don't want to wait either. So to let you know that the doors are opening for the WellBiz Babe Academy, and this is a 4-month container where we dive into the mindset, the marketing, the messaging, the way that you're going to make money with living and being and doing all of who you want to help and what you want to help them with in your mission. So the doors are opening, and this isn't for everyone. Like, we do the mindset work that's real. We dig into the messaging. You get the time and the space and the support and the collaborations from the other babes that are in there, and coaching from me. You get to see me coaching others, which is a lot of times, especially for newer coaches, like such a shift to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't really know what coaching was. And then when they see me coaching others, it gives them confidence as well. We also do like role playing, so you can actually coach others too and get feedback on how to do it better. So like you have that confidence. So again, kind of like with what I shared the last other days too, where you can own your prices and really step into your power and your expertise on, what's on your heart to do in this world to make it a healthier, happier place. So the doors are opening, so you can connect with me by going to, and I'll put this in the link too, www.mindytuzani.com/waitlist. So because this is such a high vibe, space and container with connection and content and coaching support, I do want to make sure that you are in the space where you're going to show up and do the work, and you're, really heart aligned with the group as well. Cause I've had a few different groups and different people for 8 months now. And it's just really so special. And if you saw my Insta stories, and I can post those in here too if you're not on Insta, but if you saw my Insta stories, like the results and celebrations that the babes have had in the last 6 weeks are next level. And even in the times that we have had, they are making money already. They have their foundation set up. They are like light years away from where they started. And that just goes to show you with what happens when you have coaching support and you have that accountability and you have that direction and you have the modalities, because I do a combination of, mindset work with MER, NLP, and other facets that help you get out of your own way. So when you have that light shining on you and the support, it just boosts everything. So I'm not going to go into all of that. You can go on my website, and if you're feeling called, and even if there's a little fear on stepping into your next level and making the investment in yourself, go ahead and fill out the application for the waitlist. So in my website, mindytuzani.com/waitlist, go ahead and fill it out. And even if it's a little scary, but if you are serious about making the money, making the impact in your wellness business, or even just growing yourself, I invite you to apply. And the other things I want to share too is I have been talking with some of my expert friends who are amazing. Like, they're doing such amazing work. So we're having guest experts. And so if you want to join, I'm going to open it up early so you don't have to wait until after. But these guest experts, one of them is going to give a talk on divine organizing for success. So this is more about physical space and aligning it with what's right for you intuitively. She has literally been doing this work for over 20 years and is so high level. I'm super excited about this. And then the second guest expert is going to talk on pleasure for profit. And she is next level as well. She's literally going to be living, she made the decision to move to Tulum, Mexico for the next 6 months. And she's traveled all around the world, and she's worked with all of these other worldly experts as well. And I worked with her recently too, and I was blown away. So I'm super excited about both of these guest experts that are a bonus of joining the WellBiz Babe Academy. So again, if you're feeling called, I wanted to go ahead and share that you can apply to get on the wait list and look at if this is right for you. So I look forward to seeing you if you are going to say yes to applying for yourself. And if not, keep enjoying the messages that I'm going to be sharing more this week, every day at 11 a.m. Eastern. And I'll be giving away some more prizes. So Sarah Joy got the last prize. And I added some next level prizes too. So if you want to get a chance to win these random prize drawings, comment, invite your friends to join, and just message me and be like, hey, I invited so-and-so to join. So for those of you who I see who's really stepping up, who's really, being seen here, who's engaging, I will reward you with gifts because it's fun. And I love continuing the conversation with you. So share your questions, share your comments, invite others, and I'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Lots of love. Bye.